50 Cent hopped online and said, damn, they got your man Jay in the Epstein files. I got to do a doc on this shit. I should have known he was going to hop online and say something like 50 Cent. He cannot stand Jay-Z. If there's two people in the industry who he cannot stand, it's Diddy, #1, and Jay-Z, #2. And it's just wild how all this coming out. They saying that Jay-Z and Pusha T name is in the Epstein files. Like, what the hell is going on?
For decades, power hid behind silence and sealed doors. Now 50 Cent is dragging the conversation into the spotlight as Jay-Z's name resurfaces in records tied to Jeffrey Epstein. And the true cost of moving in untouchable circles is suddenly impossible to ignore.
But to listen to people say, and just because people's names was mentioned doesn't mean anything. And these aren't official anything. Oh, this isn't this and this isn't that, and you people aren't paying attention and you're not, and it's just like, okay, all right. You're right. You're right. None of it's real. None of it's official, even though it came from the FBI. It was only a tip line, which is really interesting because they kept all of this shit. Why would they keep it if it had no validity? More importantly, I'm still trying to figure out how anybody can be attached to the name Epstein and being mentioned in anything that has any close ties to that and not looked at as absolutely fucking suspect. I don't get it. I don't get why people are so busy always trying to deny things. Meanwhile, they'll pin whatever they can on an innocent person and flip it and spin it until, it just goes, wild. And yeah, I don't know. But hey, who knows?
Well, Jack, since you brought, this conversation is going to go a few different places, but, let's go and talk about the Epstein in the room.
Sure. Let's talk. Yeah. Let's talk about the weirdo in the walls.
Yeah. It's interesting that you said that as far as people not believing. This might be technically considered the largest scandal like that we've seen like in our era or just, in American history right now. And just as of July of 2025, they've created this, what is called the Epstein Files Transparency Act, where you can't, this stuff has to be put out there. My first question before we even get into the list and the names is, why do you think the DOJ, the Department of Justice, kept these files hidden for so long? Whether through Trump or what's the reason we haven't seen these files?
It's not just the Trump administration. Don't forget the Biden administration had the ability to release these files as well, and they didn't either.
True.
So this isn't a political thing. Let's stop making it political. I think everyone wants to make it political. Oh, look at the politicians, and this isn't about the rappers, and this isn't about this, and this is about the politicians. No, it's not. No, it's not, because you got Democrats and Republicans equally aligned up in this whole foolishness. This is about a certain class of people in this country that have been doing all kinds of shit. And it really doesn't matter what your religious background is, what your social standing is, or what your political standing is. It really doesn't matter. This is not about them versus us, or no. This is about.
When 50 Cent publicly signaled he was working on a documentary, it didn't feel like gossip anymore. It felt like a reckoning. Suddenly, what once lived in rumor threads was being reframed as a question of accountability, not entertainment. 50 has always mastered the art of provocation, turning controversy into currency. But this move landed differently. It arrived at a moment when the culture is waking up to how power protects itself, not through noise, but through delay. The implication isn't an accusation. It's a transition, from whispers to records, from insinuation to documentation. And here's the real question. When someone known for disruption starts leaning on process instead of punchlines, what does that reveal about an industry that only responds once scrutiny becomes structured?
label. It's all about hip blacks in hip cars with white women. That group should be in the streets. Has been bought off by Jay-Z. And then there was another email sent by Mark Lloyd to Jeffrey Epstein back in May of 2015. And it appears to be an article that this man got sent to his email account, and then he turned around and sent it to Jeffrey Epstein. And it talks about a couple different things. But one thing that is referenced in this email and even in the subject title is Jay-Z defends himself against Marina Abramovich accusation with proof of donation. And this article is when Marina Abramovich accused Jay-Z of not paying a donation to her institute after she appeared in his music video for song Picasso Baby. This is that music video that everybody remembers, and Marina is straight demonic and creepy as hell. Now, this is a tip back in 2009 that was sent to the FBI that references Jay-Z, Harvey Weinstein, and Pusha T. It says, on July 10th of 2019 at 8:20 a.m. Eastern Time, someone called the FBI National Threat Operations Center to identify herself as a victim of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein and others. This person said in approximately 1994, she revealed herself as a past victim of abuse by Epstein. She described the abuse that occurred during parties, and she also described someone as a friend of someone. In approximately 1996, she revealed that she resided with someone somewhere. An unknown man abducted someone from her home when she later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, known as Jay-Z. This person claimed that Harvey Weinstein inserted his fingers into... She believed that she was in Epstein's mansion in Florida. This person estimated that she was abducted on 7 occasions, awaking each time in an indoor setting. She said that she suffered abuse on multiple of those occasions in which Epstein participated. She claims that she recalled Leon Black and William Barr, the current United States Attorney General, being present during some of the occasions of the abuse. And in approximately 2006, Blank last recalled being abused by Epstein. On each occasion, she believed that she was given substances clouding her memory. She attributed this by being performed by people assigned as handlers, whom she described as persons who established friendships with the victims. Among her handlers, she identified artist Pusha T. In approximately 2007, Blake attended a party following invitation from an unknown man who approached her as she walked down the street. Weinstein and Pusha T attended the party and her before engaging in abuse. She claimed to have additional information of other people involved in the enterprise and information related to racketeering conduct in support of the trafficking. She further believed that she was under surveillance and stalked at the direction of people involved in the abuse.
The resurfacing of materials tied to Jeffrey Epstein has reignited a familiar tension: presence versus proof. References to Jay-Z appear within sprawling document releases where context carries as much weight as content, and where inclusion alone is not the same as guilt. But the deeper implication is systemic. It's about how networks overlap, how proximity becomes routine, and how reputations are often shielded by layers of ambiguity. When the records grow larger than any single storyline, the real question isn't just what's there. It's who decides which connections are brought into the light and which remain buried in the margins.
He thought there was 2 cyber companies. Look out, and even though I never met Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel.
And everybody says he sort of jumps around and acts sort of strange, like he's on drugs.
Smoking, yeah. He looks under drugs.
However, he has a company called Palantir. P-A-L-L-E-N.
22 years ago.
Wow.
T-I-E-R. Palantir is Peter Thiel's company. And look out.
Palantir, P-A-L-A-N-T-I-E-R.
They don't even know how to spell it.
Yes.
It's so old. He's writing it down.
T-H-I-E-L-L-Y.
T-H-I-E-L.
L-L-Y.
No.
You can pause it.
Go ahead,
and the great, I love the fact that they did this work. And earlier in this recording, he says right off the jump too. He goes to Ehud Barak. Epstein goes, okay, so now you have to think like this: IOUs. Who owes you favors? Who owes you this? He goes, who owes you their life? So now you can play this game, and it's such a great audio because it shows exactly what Jeffrey Epstein was. He grabs all these people and how much power, what dirt do you have? And mind you, this was Ehud Barak. He was in charge of their intelligence in Israel. This isn't just a random nobody actor in LA. This is freaking huge, and I think it shows the web of what Epstein was about.
I want to show this. This is the last thing I want to stay on this topic. And Tom, I'll come to you if you have thoughts. And Rob, I want you to show this email. Look at this email here. Okay, I just texted it to you. Look at this email here. Zoom in a little bit, Rob, if you could. Thank you. Hey, sent from phone. Unfortunately not. Okay. Unfortunately not. You should make clear that I don't work for Mossad.
Smiley face.
You see it? Yeah. You or I. No, that I don't.
Yes.
Smiley face. So, I mean, look, the claims that he was never part of Mossad or didn't work with them or collaborate with them, if you don't believe he did at this point of the game, you may work for Mossad. You know what I'm saying? That you may be there. By the way,
I don't believe that. No, I'm just
yeah. So, no, but the point I'm making to you is, guess what Mossad's job is? To gather assets.
Of course.
And guess what CIA's job is?
Same thing.
Guess what MI6's job is?
Same thing.
Everyone, guess what KGB's job is? Every one of these guys that want to go out there, they want to get intel. So this guy was very useful to Mossad. And he gave them a lot of intel. But for him to sit there coaching him through how to make money, by the way, who's recording this?
Jeffrey Epstein is. At the dinner.
Epstein is recording it?
Yes.
And they found this in the Epstein files?
Yes.
Of one of the 3 million files?
One of the files. And it's, and you saw on his phone,